Seeing this, Ju-kyung was extremely worried. After that, the father and daughter went home together. The father told Ju-kyung that she was absolutely not allowed to sleep with any men before getting married. But Ju-kyung felt that she was really embarrassed just now. For reasons of confidentiality, the father and daughter came to an agreement. The father helped his daughter hide their relationship from her mother, and the daughter helped her father hide the fact that he was staying at someone else's house from her mother. The next day when she went to school, so that Suho wouldn't be taken away by someone else, Soo-jin told Ju-kyung that I liked Suho. Ju-kyung was stunned after hearing that because she was currently dating Suho. Ju-kyung decided to tell Soo-jin about this. When Soo-jin heard that Ju-kyung and Suho were dating, she was very angry. Soo-jin didn't say anything and directly splashed juice on Ju-kyung's face. They used to be best friends, but ended up turning against each other. Suddenly, Ju-kyung stood up and shouted loudly. It turned out that everything was just a dream, but dreams often reflect reality. They were the two male gods of the school, but loved the same girl. That day, they went to Ju-kyung's house to make mandu. Ju-kyung's mother kept praising Seo-jun for being handsome and skillful, while Ju-kyung's father was very attentive to Suho. The mother told Ju-kyung that when she found a boyfriend in the future, she should choose one of these two. Ju-kyung just smiled shyly. Ju-kyung's father said he would vote for Suho. Her younger brother also agreed to vote, but Ju-kyung's mother said that her favorite son-in-law was Seo-jun. Suho was not to be outdone. He said that his father would perform in 2 days, and he would get a ticket for Ju-kyung's mother. Ju-kyung's mother was stunned after hearing this. Suho's father was her male idol, so this put her in a difficult situation. Suddenly, she thought of another way. She would vote for the person who made the better mandu. As soon as these words were said, Suho and Seo-jun immediately became excited. Although they appeared calm on the outside, the battle between the boys was secretly breaking out. The two of them rolled the dough faster and faster because both of them were determined to win this battle. Both of them used their hands that had been single for 20 years to create some pretty mandu. Ju-kyung's family was very surprised. Now they not only demanded quality, but also attractiveness. After a while, they were able to wrap a large amount of mandu, but things didn't stop there. Suho carved a golden dragon with 9 claws, while Seo-jun made an extraordinary crane. Ju-kyung's parents were shocked by these masterpieces. They didn't expect Seo-jun and Suho to have such talent. It was just a mandu, but it gave off a 5-star feeling. As a result, Ju-kyung's father accidentally touched it, and the masterpiece collapsed. In the end, the mother announced that Seo-jun won. Seo-jun directly looked down on Suho. While waiting for the mandu to cook, Suho went to Ju-kyung's room to chat with her. Suddenly, he saw pictures of her when she was young, which made Suho think for a while. When he was young, he was sad because of his mother. There was a girl in the comic book store who always thought of different ways to cheer him up. It turned out to be Ju-kyung, but Suho didn't tell her. Instead, he asked her for a picture of her when she was young, but Ju-kyung thought she was ugly and didn't agree. So the two of them fought, and just like that, they fell onto the bed. If it wasn't unexpected, something unexpected would definitely happen. Ju-kyung's father angrily stepped forward and hit Ju-kyung. He said she was at home. How dare she do such a thing? And he told Suho that love must be healthy and pure. It was time to eat very quickly. Seo-jun and Suho went to get a table. Seo-jun asked why the two of them were arguing. Sometimes it was love, sometimes it was friendship. Suho said that their arguing had nothing to do with Seo-jun. Seo-jun got angry when he heard that. He immediately told Suho that if he saw Ju-kyung unhappy, he would take her back. As soon as these words were said, Suho angrily grabbed Seo-jun. The people downstairs were studying their work when they heard a thunderous sound from upstairs. The two of them rolled down the stairs. Not paying attention to their surroundings, they continued to fight. Ju-kyung's family was stunned and suddenly realized something was wrong. It turned out that Ju-kyung's parents were witnessing it. They finally used the Ju-kyung family's traditional method of reconciliation. That was to cut each other's toenails at the same time and say I love you. After the two of them walked out of the house, what they had just done made them feel disgusted. After kicking the air, the two of them looked at each other again. Then they ran away in disgust. The next day, while Suho was waiting for the bus, he suddenly saw that his dead friend's song had been stolen. On the other side, Seo-jun, who was working as a part-time model, also discovered that the three of them used to be close friends. For many reasons, Seo-yun's death and some misunderstandings caused the two to turn their backs on each other. At this time, they desperately ran to the recording company to ask for an explanation. When they crossed the street, a car was rushing towards them, and due to carelessness, both of them were hit by the car. After hearing the news of their accident, Ju-kyung immediately ran to the hospital, but she didn't know who was lying on the bed. She burst into tears as soon as she arrived, and when she saw Suho pushing the door open, Ju-kyung realized that she had mistaken the person. At this time, Seo-jun also stood up and asked who she was. At this time, Ju-kyung didn't know what to do. She had no choice but to jump into Suho's arms. Seo-jun asked who he was hugging. Suho lied and said that she was his cousin, but Seo-jun still had a little bit doubts. In order to not be discovered, Ju-kyung had to wear a piece of cloth on his head while the two were talking. Seo-jun felt very strange. The conversation between the two was not like that of cousins at all. Ju-kyung was afraid of being exposed, so she quickly left. The next day, Seo-jun wanted to go to the toilet, but it was inconvenient because both of his arms were broken. Suho walked in and saw Seo-jun shaking a little, so Suho asked him what was wrong. Seo-jun said it was okay. Suho didn't care about him anymore, but Seo-jun couldn't hold it in anymore. Seo-jun said he wanted to go to the toilet, but Suho didn't want to help Seo-jun. Suho even told Seo-jun to call the nurse himself, but in the end, Suho still couldn't escape taking Seo-jun to the toilet. At this time, Ju-kyung also put on beautiful makeup and went to the hospital. When she opened the door, she was extremely surprised to see Seo-jun and Suho lying on top of each other. Suho hurriedly explained that he was changing clothes for Seo-jun. Seo-jun saw that the two of them were talking about love and felt very unhappy, so he stood up and went out. Suho thought that Seo-jun was going to the bathroom, so he asked Seo-jun if you needed help. Ju-kyung was shocked. She thought that this could help, but when she saw Seo-jun's hand, Ju-kyung understood. Seo-jun asked her to stop imagining the scenes in her head. Seo-jun then ran away embarrassed. Ju-kyung was afraid that Suho would be bored, so she brought him some books from the comic book store, but the books fell to the ground. The two of them bent down to pick it up at the same time, but their shirts accidentally got stuck together. While they were trying to untangle it, her younger brother, who was told by mother to visit Suho, happened to see this scene. After putting the chicken soup down, the younger brother told the two of them to continue. He was going first. The two of them started to untangle their hair again, and coincidentally they heard the voices of Seo-jun's friends outside. If they saw this scene, the whole school would definitely know. Seeing that there was no time, Suho asked Ju-kyung to hide in his bed. He had just covered himself with a blanket when they rushed in, but Seo-jun wasn't there. At this time, Suho's classmates also came to visit him. They looked at him for a while, then insisted on lifting his blanket to see, which made Suho extremely scared. Ju-kyung was also trembling in fear under the blanket. On the other side, after Ju-kyung's younger brother came out, he met the goddess he had a crush on. It was obvious that Go-woon didn't like him very much, so Ju-kyung's younger brother started begging for Go-woon's sympathy. Just then Seo-jun walked over. Go-woon saw Seo-jun and called out to brother. This surprised Ju-kyung's younger brother. He didn't expect that the two of them were siblings. He had previously thought that Go-woon was Seo-jun's girlfriend, so he used every means to target Seo-jun. He even stuck Seo-jun's picture on a punching bag and punched it every day. Ju-kyung's younger brother didn't expect that Seo-jun would be the one who liked his older sister. Seo-jun told him to give up on this idea. Seo-jun said that Go-woon didn't like him at all, but Ju-kyung's younger brother had lost his shame and said that he only liked Go-woon. Before leaving, he said goodbye to Seo-jun, which made Seo-jun extremely angry. Go-woon hung his underwear around the brother's neck and then left. The hospital room was very noisy. They were eating and playing around. This really made Ju-kyung helpless. When they saw Seo-jun return, they rushed over to greet him and started crying bitterly. At this time, the classmates took out their underwear from their pockets, which turned out to be leopard print pants. Then they put them on their heads and praised how beautiful the pants were. The curly-haired guy saw Suho sweating and wiped it for him. Suho said he could wipe it himself. The curly-haired guy immediately asked to wipe Suho's feet. Suddenly, the curly-haired guy noticed that Suho was wearing pink socks. This scared them. The curly-haired guy said Suho's legs were too soft and asked if he liked pink. Seo-jun seemed to understand something. To save the situation, he told these friends to go home quickly, but they said they wanted to stay here for the night out of loyalty. This scared Ju-kyung, and in the end, they were all chased away by Seo-jun. Seo-jun also followed them outside. Ju-kyung saw that everyone had left and immediately stood up. She didn't even have time to put on her shoes before running away. After Seo-jun and Suho were discharged from the hospital, they sat down together on the bench to rest. Suddenly, a cigarette butt was thrown at their feet. At this time, a fat uncle came over, thinking that he was alone. Seo-jun boldly stood up and criticized him. Suddenly, a group of people got out of the car, and Seo-jun immediately felt danger. The fat uncle told Seo-jun to come over to him. Seo-jun was about to leave when Suho stopped him. Suho said to let him handle this matter. Seeing Seo-jun standing up and running away, Suho panicked and wanted to run after him. Luckily, Seo-jun still had a conscience and came back. After a chase, they finally caught up, but Seo-jun and Suho accidentally fell into the manure pit. Just like that, the two of them were covered in chicken feces all over their bodies. The uncles didn't step forward to hit them because they were too stinky. They just mocked the two of them a few sentences and then hurriedly left. Suho blamed Seo-jun for not standing firm. A moment later, the two of them sat on a cart, laughing at each other for looking so pathetic. After Seo-jun followed Suho home, they ate instant noodles together. After eating the noodles, they still weren't full, so they added more rice to the noodles. It tasted delicious. Suddenly, the phone rang and Suho hurriedly answered the phone. Seo-jun said it was his phone. Seo-jun also told Suho that it seemed like Soo-jin liked him, so Ju-kyung didn't want to make their relationship public.